So I want to say thank you again, as Pink stated, for joining us tonight for Broken Crayons Still Color. And some of you may wonder why I chose this title. It's because I realized that not just myself, but others may feel once we have been broken or damaged that we can no longer move forward. So how many times have we looked over our life and only see those broken pieces? The divorce, the drug addiction, the child abuse, the death of a spouse or a parent, that eviction, the job loss, abandonment, the inability to carry a child, those health issues, cancer, things like that. The list can go on and on. We tend to say, with everything that has happened, Lord, I've been through so much that has broken me. With all these broken pieces, how can I be used for your kingdom? How can I teach others? How can I reach others with the remains that's left of me? With all these broken pieces, how can I reach others for you? But not only that, some of us may believe that because we're so broken that we can't accomplish our dreams, our goals, even believe that we'll always remain inadequate or less than. For me, my biggest question was, Lord, will I only be seen for those things that have broken me? But what I realized in 2 Corinthians chapter 4, verses 8 through 9, Paul could relate when he said, we are hard pressed on every side, yet not crushed. So we're hard pressed. So we got a lot of stuff going on, but we're not crushed. We're perplexed. We're confused and baffled, but we're not in despair, meaning our hope is not at a complete loss. We've been persecuted, but we have not been forsaken. We've been struck down, but we have not been destroyed. See, here Paul was aware that we may have been broken and bruised, but we are not destroyed. We may have had that limp due to what have been broken us, but the promise still remains. We may have been thrown into a pit, sold into slavery, and then thrown into jail like Joseph, but yet his plan still came into fruition. So tonight we will discuss how powerful how broken pieces can be, how impactful they are as we walk out our purpose and our will and the will of God. See how the broken parts carried lessons that built strength that will help us accomplish our goals that God has set out for us. Nothing we have been through comes with a surprise to God. God wants to use our broken pieces to carry out his purpose. The thing is, we have to shift our mindset and look at our brokenness as a gift. Look at our brokenness as a way to relate to those that God has sent us to minister to. No matter how broken we may seem to be, we are not destroyed. We have a few people coming up today that's going to talk about how they let God use their brokenness for their future, for help, for the others. And then following them, we'll have Miss Tanya, the real. She's going to deliver a message coming from 2 Corinthians chapter 4, 8 through 9, going over the same thing that I just talked about, what Paul went through, how he can relate to us, and God's purpose for our life. What I believe is the enemy goal for us is to devour us, but the Lord's goal is to grow us in faith, trust, and endurance. And he says this over and over in his word. So yes, we may have been broken, but as you see tonight, as we go through everybody's testimony, as we go through Tanya's word, as she deep dives into 2 Corinthians, we will see that we can still be used. The color still can color even though they're broken. So we will be able to see that. We'll expound more on that as we go through this. I thank each and every one of you. Thank you to all the ones that came up and spoke. I know my mom has kind of been driving this thing. I've been at work, so had a lot of schedule changes, and I didn't want to reschedule it again because I knew I wanted it to happen. So I really do appreciate my mom. I appreciate every single person that came up and spoke. Tasha, listening to your story, again, God is going to use your testimony to help somebody else. The one thing that's near and dear to me in regards to broken crayons is when I was going through what I was going through, I thought I was in it by myself. I thought I was the only one in the world going through the things that I went through. And I wanted to be that person for somebody else because I didn't like it when I was alone. But that was my time with God. And he was the one that wheeled me out of the slump that I was in. He was the only one that I had in my time of brokenness that wheeled me out of it. I wanted to call people. I wanted to have an advice. I wanted to have a listening ear, but I only had him. And with that, and with my brokenness, I'm so transparent about everything that I've been through in my life, is for me to be that person for somebody else, to allow my little crayon to color as bright as I can in somebody else's life, for somebody else to see the transparency in me and what I've been through, and for me to show them that no matter what we go through, it is still possible. God will still give us a chance. And that's why, again, this is so important to me. Like Tanya said, there's sharpeners for broken crayons. You know, we can peel back layers. We can be accountable for the brokenness that we cause on ourselves and still move forward in it. We have to forgive our others and forgive ourselves in order to be free. And these were a lot of things that I've learned in my brokenness in those times. And that's why I'm so transparent about who I am, what I've been through, what I've done to myself, and then what I've been the victim of, to draw people closer to him, because I'm only his. Again, like Tanya said, we are all a part of the body, right? We are not, every part of us are intricate in different levels. And so again, I can't be Pink. I can't be Lady Tanya. I can't be Pastor Sharon Boyd. I only can be me. And I walk in transparency on a daily basis. I'm so comfortable with a girl on the street or a homeless person on the street and just getting down in the trenches with them, because I'm strong enough now not to fall back into those traps where I once were, but to allow them to know that there is a possibility, but to allow them to see and not to give up on that person. Also to know when to walk away, because if I'm getting pulled down, and that I know I'm strong enough now because of him not to get pulled down into it. So again, this thing was near and dear to my heart. I wanted people to realize and to understand that with God, all things are possible. With our brokenness, we still can fulfill his purpose. With our brokenness, we still can achieve the goals that God has set out for us. And there are steps to take in regards to that. But please do not feel like you are, what do we call it? So I'm outcast because I was broken. You were put to a side. You were meant to stand in. You were meant to stand out. So your outcast was built there for a purpose, so that you can draw in the other outcasts. So we are all here for a reason. We're all here for a purpose. And I really do appreciate each and every one of you. My mom, thank you. Again, there are people who were built, who were born into prestige and stuff, who may seem like their life was perfectly done, but God will take you and break you down for fulfill his purpose, right? His story, my story, his glory. That's what I say. My story is what I've been through, but it all ties into his glory. What are we doing for him? And understanding that, and understanding our brokenness, and being that light and being that vessel to others. So again, I appreciate you. Appreciate every single one. I appreciate each and every one of you again. So thank you.